Senate votes to keep oil tanker ban alive, potentially ending defiant streak of upper chambers. C69 heads to the House. Both votes put to rest a long saga in which senators have shown uncommon resistance to government legislation, raising concerns about overzealous Senate. Ottawa. Senators voted on Thursday to save Ottawa's controversial oil tanker ban, potentially ending prolonged back push in the Senate against legislation that has been met with intense criticism by Western provinces and the energy industry. In a 53-38 vote, senators rejected the adaptation of a report that would have effectively killed BC 48, a moratorium on oil tankers in northern BC waters. Also on Thursday, senators adopted a heavy amended version of another contentious natural resource bill, C69, which is now headed back to the House of Commons for review. The legislation would overhaul Canada's environmental assessment process, a major process like oil pipelines and power lines. Both votes put to rest a long saga in which senators have shown uncommon resistance to government legislation, raising concerns about overzealous Senate that has acted not just in the chamber of sober second thought, according to critics, but also outright opposition to the House of Commons. Bill C-48 and Bill C-69 have drawn an eerie of provincial governments and the oil-rich provinces of Alberta and Saskatchewan, as well as lobby groups who argue they could delay the construction of major energy products. Industry has been warning about C-69 in particular, amid a failure by the oil and gas industry in recent years to build major pipeline projects like the Trans Mountain pipeline expansion, not owned by the federal government. Industry groups and some senators blasted the decision to salvage the tanker moratorium on Thursday. The vast majority of Trudeau-appointed senators have decided it's more important to support a bad Liberal bill than to listen to concerns from provincial governments from across the country. Conservative Senate Caucus Leader Larry Smith said in a statement. The Canadian Chamber of Commerce said it was deeply disappointed in the vote that argued senators find a common ground on the bill. Both bills have received intense scrutiny in the Senate in recent months. The Senate Energy Committee adopted 188 changes in Bill C-69 on Thursday, the most proposed by the upper house on government legislation in decades. On Bill C-48, meanwhile, the Transportation Committee took a rare move on recommending that the government scrap legislation altogether after independent Senator Paula Simons voted against 5 consecutive senators to sway a decision in favor of nixing the tanker ban. Observers say conservative and some independent senators are likely to propose new amendments to C-46 following the Thursday vote, but these amendments are unlikely to be accepted before the moratorium becomes law. The vote comes as a number of independent senators have been meeting with officials in the Office of Environmental Minister Catherine McKenna. Part with some of the observers say there's last-minute negotiations which proposed changes may ultimately be accepted by the Trudeau government. Senator Yen Paul Wu, head representative for the Independent Senators Group, a member of the Energy Committee studying Bill 669, said he had technical briefings with environmental minister officials about the legislation, but denied discussing specific amendments. I don't know what they will or will not accept, but we have created our amendments in such a way that we try to make consistent with the objectives bill, Wu said on interview Tuesday. A government source said it's common for federal officials to meet with senators throughout the study of the bill. A person said environment officials have spoken with list of senators and meetings facilitated by non-affiliated Senator Grant Michael, a sponsor of Bill C69, largely for technical briefings and sometimes to discuss likelihood of some amendments being accepted. The two leading oil and gas lobby groups, the Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers, CAP, and the Canadian Energy Pipeline Association, CEPA, proposed about 90 amendments to the bill, which were later put forward by conservative senators in the final report of the bill. Senator Wu criticized the nearly word for word adaptation in the industry's inspired amendments, saying the committee should avoid acting as stenographers for corporate interests. Environment Canada also proposed amendments that were tabled through Senator Michael. The industry amendments would amount to deep restructuring of the bill. They would, among other things, limit from discretionary powers to the Environment Ministry in approving or repealing major projects, restricting the ability of special interest groups opposed to natural resource development to testify at public hearings, and effectively reverse the bid to sideline the national energy regulator in the decision-making process. In a written statement, McKenna said her office is carefully considering the proposed amendments to Bill C69. I'm happy that Bill C69 is now through the Senate despite many delays caused by the Conservatives who wanted to kill the bill, weaken protections, and limit public discussions, she said. Meanwhile, the Senate Committee's final report on the C48 oil tanker memorandum, read by Conservative Chair David Kachuk, said the bill would be destructive to Canadian federalism. The highly contentious bill has been criticized for unfairly targeting would-be pipeline projects that would ship oil out of ports along the northern BC coast. Environment advocates in some coastal First Nations support the bill, while a number of other BC Indigenous communities have strongly opposed it, saying it restricts their right to develop natural resources on their traditional lands. Bill C69 has been broadly supported by a number of industry associations, including the Mining Association of Canada, who also forwarded proposed amendments. Environmentalists have also supported the bill, but warn it doesn't go far enough to protect sensitive ecological regions and account for wider greenhouse gas emissions. Industry groups and environmental advocates are largely in agreement that the Canadian Environmental Assessment Act, passed in 2012 by the Harper government, was in need of an update, saying the bill restricted some aspects of Canadians' environmental assessment regime and a bid to get projects built. That's from the National Post.